we're back. Um, we're back to talk about the second part of how you can go about losing money in an easy way to go about it. So you have to be careful. You really do have to be mindful of what's going on. But one of the ones that I have here about a way that you can go about losing money, and this is a good one actually. Be careful with cable packages. Not only pay for channels you would watch. Um,
That is true, Steve. There are some packages designed if you still, work with a cable provider. Packages very reasonable of the like a certain amount of channels that you actually watch. Ever notice, Steve, how many times people have a gazillion channels and they go, "Oh, I have all these channels, but nothing good is on," and then
yeah,
they frequent about 8 to 10 channels. So why pay for a gazillion channels if you're only watching about 8 or 10?
that's just it. And the thing of it is, let well, of course, if you're a new customer, they're always going to put you on the top tier package. They're going to give you the best of the best, creme de la creme, and they're going to give you a good price. You get, you know, a bundle, whatever comes with it. Yes, unfortunately, that price only stays that price for so long.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, 1 month to the next, your cable is jumping 60, 70, $80.
Mark your
Then,
calendar 1 month prior. I didn't mean to jump in there, Steve. People
yeah,
should mark their calendar 1 month prior. If they're on the phone, they know it's going to end in March. Then what you do in February is call the cable provider.
yeah, because if you're not careful, that they want to make money off of you. They may not say that, oh, they might be sympathetic, but the thing to do is to call and say, well, I'm happy with the package that I have, but it's not really what I'm looking for because there's more there than what I watch. Um, but sometimes they may not be all that helpful too at the same time. So if they want to have they want to pull an attitude, you can always do this. It does work. If you threaten to leave, most of the time, if they want your business, they're going to stop you and say, Mr., Mrs., whoever you are, well, what we can do is we can offer you, and they'll usually come in with something kind of sort of comparable to what you had, maybe not the same thing, for a similar price that you were paying, same price bracket, maybe a little lower.
Definitely ask, ask, ask. I was told directly by a Spectrum provider that please don't every time you call, ask if there are any promotionals left.
Promotional.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
you're
that
on the
helps
right
you.
track. Definitely, that is a good way to lose money if you're not paying attention to when your contract is over. So,
That's
a
right.
word to the wise: as soon as you set it up, mark your calendar.
Yeah, then like you say, 1 month prior, do your thing. Um, Number six, not tracking your expenses. I know a lot of people I'm pretty sure, are guilty of doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one, Steve. Definitely. In life, sometimes some people regarding their expenses, Steve, they treat it like balloons drifting in the air, balloons
Hmm.
going here, there, and everywhere without a clear path or a clear direction. That's how some people treat their money. In my honest opinion, I think that is not a good thing. How can we know how to fix a future thing if we don't discover our, habits, our expenses? There are a lot of trackers out there that can help. Look it up and you'll find something that's suitable. Some of the apps offer free, some you have to pay for. You're really on the right track with that one, Steve.
Yeah, it's not too hard to lose track of your expenses, but it's also not that hard to keep track of them either. You know, whenever everybody's got their own system. Uh, you know, keep track of what you're doing. If you buy a certain something, okay, I bought this, or I paid this bill, this came out, or you know, there. It's almost. I want to say it's almost like balancing a checkbook. In a way, yes. In a way,
No, no,
no.
no. You're right, Steve. Manage your home expenses as if you were running a business. You are on the right track. I was thinking of that as you were saying that because a lot of people forget they are the CEOs of their own life. And I asked myself, if that same person is in business, wouldn't they want to track their expenses? Where's this going? I mean, for example, you and I, pay for this beautiful platform, StreamYard. We have other related expenses, blah, 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 internet provider, blah, blah. It all adds up. Okay. I track my expenses. Okay. Very important. You can't fix something unless you're familiar with your numbers.
That's
No, you
right.
bring up a good point there.
hmm Number 7, refusing to create a budget. Now, if you refuse to create a budget, yeah,
Yeah.
you're going to lose money. That's just going to happen no matter what.
100% agree. There are people out there that say, well, budgets aren't necessary. I'm sorry. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and everyone should do what literally works for them. If not having a spending plan or a budget, whatever you want to call it, if it works for you, great. But I'm talking about myself. I like to stay on budget.
hmm
That's how I get to live within my means. In my opinion, Steve, not having a budget again, the balloons flying around with no clear path, money going here, there, and everywhere. Not great. You have to keep
No,
track.
it's not. And for those that don't know, I have a budget method that I use is once all of my bills or everything I have to pay is paid, I'll take that amount of money that I have left and divide it by how many days until I get, you know, paid again. Whatever that number is, 20, 18, 22, whatever that number is, it comes up. Try to live within that number if you can, which means don't spend any more than that number that when you do the math problem. If you don't spend that amount and you've got $3 or $4 left over, that amount's going to carry over.
Right.
But if you have a day that's a no spend day, which means no money comes out, then it works even better in your favor because that whole amount builds up a little faster the next day, so on and so on. That's how I go about having money that I use to go about my living. I live within a certain amount of what I have left once everything is paid. And it does work. In fact, there's I know of at least 2, maybe 3 subscribers that have used that method, and they said that it has been very beneficial to them.
That's
So
wonderful.
it is. So go by that number. Does that mean you have to spend that number? No, it does not.
Right. You know what I love about your method, Steve? Unlike some people who, like I say, they don't care where the money goes here, there, or anywhere, then the same people go, well, how do I get through that last week of the month before payday? Okay. Yeah. With your method, you always come out the winner. You always come out the winner
You
because
will.
you're making sure there's something there as opposed to, uh, 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 crickets. Not good. Not good. I
Right.
love your method. It's very good.
Even if you have 30, 35, $40 left over at the end, that's still a little something to take you to the grocery store and buy a few things. That's for sure. Um,
Absolutely. You're ahead of the game. You're not behind the game.
no,
Again,
you're
you
not.
did it again with a good tip there.
Right, right. So, always just, as long as you live within that number, you'll always be in a good position. Number 8, this is also a good one. It kind of goes along with what we just spoke about. not having a budget buffer.
So true, Steve. And again, it's probably the same person with the here, there, and everywhere balloon type of problem. It's just a better idea to keep a budget buffer. You know, Steve, I use the analogy of a crib. Remember, cribs with those bumpers, whatever you call those little bumper pillows to protect the baby inside the crib. Think of it like that, except in your checking account. Make sure you have a couple of $100, just a couple of $100 could save you from incredible, ridiculous fees. Example, we were talking about this, I believe, the other day on the first show, Steve, with
Hmm.
the automated bill paying. If people aren't paying attention and it subtracts too much and then it goes into some other method of payment, or it goes into another way where you end up paying exorbitant fees or late fees, you need to have, we need to have, all of us, a budget buffer. Doesn't have to be a lot, just a
No,
couple of $100, like a little protection, a cushion, literally a cushion.
that's right. No, it's always good to have a little bit extra there to fall back on. Look at it like this, a budget buffer. Look at it this way. Good example, a miniature emergency fund. That's
Bingo.
really
Oh, wow. Very well put. I love that.
right. So even though it's only a couple of hundred, 150, 250, it's something to fall back on. It's better than not having anything. So yeah, I,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I look at it as a small miniature mini emergency fund if you break it down. So anyway, that's our 8 tips of how to go about losing money if you're not careful. You know,
Exactly. And I know we don't want to lose money, especially in today's crazy economy. You know what, Steve? I can't, if you don't mind, I want to take a minute to mention. Yeah, I can't emphasize this enough about stockpiling. Please, especially now, I spoke about it over a recent show that you're going to see or have seen not long ago, like hours ago, maybe. But I can't, it doesn't have to be huge. You go to a grocery store, pick up that extra box of pasta, that extra can of fruit, or whatever it is your family uses, beans. Put it away. Steve, I don't have a crystal ball in front of me that will determine what's going to happen in the next few sensitive months in time. I don't know that. But
yeah,
why don't we err on the side of caution?
caution.
So I think your tips about realizing how we're losing money really brings out, that information.
It does. It does. Yeah, there's, again, stockpiling is another form of a buffer as well. Um,
Absolutely, a food buffer. There you
yeah,
go.
yeah. Okay. Well, everybody, glad that you could be here, Jan.
Thanks for
Um,
having me here.
yes, and oh, sure. And now everybody's got something to go on between this video and the one prior with the other 4 tips. Now everybody's got an idea of what not to do, to because you don't want to lose money. You want to save and build and be on the plus. You don't want to go negative. So
No.
definitely keep that in mind. All right. I hope
Steve,
everybody.
don't you have that little video clip, a little reminder to smash down?
Yeah, I've got one. Yeah,
Yeah.
since you mentioned it, I'll gladly share it. If all of you would be ever so kind. So anyway, that would be greatly appreciated if you enjoy my channel and like my content, like our content. But as always, be on the lookout for me or Jan. But I just hope everybody has a great whatever time of day it is that you're having, and I or we will see you back here next time. Take
Take
care,
care,
everybody.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.